Okay, that should be turned on for everybody. Vicky, PLP, over to you.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
I'm okay, Vicky. Thank you. You?
Yeah, good. Thank you. So, start of the season, 2 wins out of 2, a chance to build some momentum.
Well, it always helps at Newcastle, that's for sure. And I'm like everybody else. We all like to get off to a start. It certainly helps. And we couldn't have had a better week in terms of results-wise. And, of course, the players that we've brought into the club hitting the ground running like the way they have done, which was always part of the reason why we went after who we went after. So, yes, but we've got a chance. We'll give ourselves a chance to get off to an outstanding start. Can we get a result against Brighton? A very decent Brighton, I have to say, who performed very well against Chelsea last week, I thought.
Yeah, you touched on it there, but debuts already for your 5 summer signings, and you couldn't have asked for more from all of them, really, could you?
No, they've had a really, really good week. I was delighted. I mean, Mark Gillespie, for example, it hasn't hit all the headlines, but, in his own way to, his hometown club and to come back and just shows you he released his 16, went away to Scotland, came back and he made his debut the other night and how well he played. We're delighted for him on the quiet. Ryan Fraser scored a goal the other night, and of course the contribution of the other 3 last week at West Ham were there for everybody to see.
Obviously, bringing signings in the first place gives the place a lift, but particularly when they perform so well, there must be a really positive mood amongst the squad at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've said it many, many times. There's nothing like when you're a player and a good player walks through the door to help you. And what they've seen over the last couple of weeks in particular was, the 4 or 5 of them walking through the door has bolstered the squad just at the right time before the season. And there's a feel-good factor, which is good. We get that through results, of course. And we've given ourselves an opportunity to, as I said, get off to a wonderful start.
Just picking out one player from Tuesday, a lot's been made of the potential combinations between Ryan Fraser and Callum Wilson because they were at Bournemouth together for so long. But I thought Almiron and Fraser linked up really well, obviously for the goal, but at other times in that match as well. Could that be an exciting partnership for you as well?
Look, they're both quality players, aren't they? So they will enjoy linking up with each other. And it gives us a different dimension, of course. I had to make the difficult decision of not playing Almiron last week at West Ham, and he played in midweek. I think everybody knows what I think of the boy, so it was a difficult decision, but thankfully it came off. And but it gives me food for thought, of course. And the more bits of quality players you've got, then of course it makes the job a little bit easier.
And it just shows, doesn't it? You do really have that strength in depth now.
Well, we're a lot stronger than what we were. The 3-4 lads, in my opinion, of the 4 or 5 lads who've walked through the door have made the squad bigger and better. And that's what I'm saying. Since I walked through the door here was, how do we improve? Can we keep improving? Certainly, in the evidence of what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, I could say that the squad has definitely improved, which obviously everybody wants to do.
In terms of team news for Brighton, how are you looking? Might you get any of the injured players back?
No, it's still a bit too early for Dummett and Longstaff and Shah and the goalkeeper. So everybody else seems to be okay. We've got a clean bill of health of everybody playing the other night, so that was refreshing and good. So long may that continue.
So no concern over St. Maximan. I know he perhaps was a little sore at the end of that one.
No, he's fine. He's fine.
Brilliant. And on Brighton, what sort of a test will they pose?
Well, they've got a totally different philosophy over the last year or so with Graham. He's come in and changed their style, if you like, and changed the way they play. They're all about possession and retaining the ball, and they do it very, very well. As I said, I was mightily impressed with them against Chelsea. Didn't get the result that maybe they warranted, but overall, I thought they did very, very well. So we know what to expect. We know that for large parts of the game they'll have good possession of the ball, because that's what the game, that's what they work at all week, I would presume.
And just finally from me, 2 goalless draws with them last season. I guess at the very least the fans will want to see a goal.
Well, they were total classics, if I remember it all. So we don't have to beat much, both clubs, to have a better spectacle than what we had last year. But sometimes a point away from home when we went to Brighton was sometimes enough. So points are hard to get in the Premier League. No matter how you get, whether you draw or win, they're very difficult to come by.
Thanks, Vicky. Going to go to Tim Thornton at Sky Sports.
Hi, Steve. Can I just pick up on transfers? Obviously, you've made 5 signings already. Anything else close? Rodrigo, Vilca, is he on his way?
I ain't got a comment on anybody coming in, and certainly names. That's not me. But you can never say never, But I'm very, very pleased at what we've done. We'll see what the market throws at us in the next few weeks, because a lot of the big clubs, for example, haven't really maybe started yet. So we'll see. We'll see what becomes available. But as I said, to do the work we did all before the start of the season was terrific for everybody. So I'm very, very pleased with what we've done. We'll never say never, though.
What about outgoings? Could you shed a few players?
We've let Lejeune go. I think it was vitally important that he went out to play some football, and had a horrible time with injury, so that'll do him the world of good. Mutu's gone out to Spain as well, where he was restricted in his appearances over the last couple of years, so I think it makes sense to get him up and running somewhere. So 1 or 2 have left, and we'll see what the market brings in the next couple of weeks or so.
Has there been any interest in Yedlin? There's a bit of speculation he could be on his way to Turkey.
Certainly I haven't had any speculation at all. I've seen it, of course, but then again, I've seen it linked with so many players. It's weekly, isn't it? Whether you get anyone right. But no, as far as I'm concerned, that's pure speculation.
And final one from me. Gareth Bale on his way to Tottenham. What does that mean, first of all, for the Premier League? And you play them next week. Are you hoping there might be 1 or 2 issues that will delay it a week?
Well, look, Gareth Bale has been a top player. And so for Tottenham to get him back, it's mouth-watering, I presume, for them. If he can hit the heights like he did before he left to go to Real Madrid, then we'll all enjoy watching him, because, let's be fair, he was being a terrific player. So a great signing by Jose.
Cheers, Steve. Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Dawn Thewlis, BBC Look North.
Hi, Steve. Just a couple from me. You mentioned it sort of briefly with Vicky about the recent games against Brighton not exactly being classics. Very few goals scored. But are you hoping that whatever combination of the new signings you play, that's going to make a difference?
Well, to be perfectly honest, that's why they're here, that we wanted to improve at the top end of the pitch. But as I said, sometimes, it's difficult, in the Premier League to win a match and draw a game. So there weren't exactly classics. I'll hold my hand up there. So as a spectacle, there weren't much to watch. So we hope that we can improve on it. We hope that we can cause them a threat, and a bigger threat than we did last year. So let's wait and see. It's going to be difficult. They all are. And Brighton have done extremely well against us in the past. So we'll have to guard against that.
And just one on testing, Steve. What's the testing regime that you and the players are going through at the moment? Because obviously in the Championship and further down, they're not being tested on a regular basis. We know Neil Warnock's now got coronavirus. Does it concern you when you're playing teams from lower down in the Cup that you're potentially playing against a side that haven't been tested to the same level that you are?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a concern. It's a concern for the whole of the North East at the moment, and we always seem to get it tough up here, don't we? More than anybody else, and it's something that the whole of the North East will, I'm sure, come together with and beat this thing. When it comes down to our own individual bubble, I think we are the fortunate ones. We're tested twice a week, but obviously further down the pyramid, it's not the case, and we travel to Morecambe next week with that possibility. But I think we're all living in a world now where we feel very, very privileged and very secure in the environment we're in. How lucky are we when the rest of the North East in particular is finding it tough? So, there's tough weeks ahead for everybody concerned. So we'll have to make sure that we observe the rules and obviously try and get back on track again. And the football, if that gives people a little bit of relief, then all well and good. But yes, it is a concern when you play at the lower leagues, but we'd rather be playing football than not.
I know there was one team, I don't know which one, in the Premier League this week who apparently arranged for their lower league opponents to be tested. Is that something, do you think, Premier League teams might do on a wider basis?
Possibly, I can understand it, because obviously they don't want the players or the staff infected. So I can understand that sentiment. We haven't really spoke about it just yet. That's for sure. So look, we are extremely privileged, as I've just seen in our environment. But drawing away to Morecambe next week, like we are, then we'll see what the consequences are of it.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don. Chris Conway, ITV Tyne Tees.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Just following up on the point about COVID-19 and what have you, down the road at Middlesbrough, they are having a pilot test event this weekend, so 1,000 fans will be back in the stadium. I guess you'd like to think that at some point you'll get 1,000 fans back in St James's at least, and certainly you could do with them this weekend against Brighton.
Well, look, if we ever need reminding of what the game of football is all about, it's about the lack of supporters at the moment. It's just not the same. No matter how we try and dress it up or attribute to it, it's not the same as a packed St James's Park in front of 52,000 tomorrow. And whenever you talk about football and the supporters, and we take them for granted at times, without it, it's just simply not the spectacle that a full house, what we all enjoy playing in, the atmosphere, whatever. So, yes, I mean, there's pilot schemes. I think there's 10 pilot schemes this weekend, which is a start. And if we look in the Bundesliga in Germany, and Dortmund in particular, they're getting, I think, something like 20% of their capacity this weekend. So in an 80,000 stadium, I think there's something like 16,000 going tonight or tomorrow, whatever it is. So let's hope that's a success. And we hope that we can get fans back into the stadium. I mean, the whole of the Northeast has been rocked, obviously, with the news over the last 24 hours. So we could do with a bit of good news for a change, and let's see what develops.
Brilliant. Steve, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, broadcasters. If you can leave the call now. Written guys, if you can use the raise hand function, we'll be with you in just a moment. Thank you.